Now laugh if you want to. I'm one of the best shooters though, even still to this day. And I'd take my chance. If I was in the 1 of 450, I'd be at the top. It's guys like me, Steph, Clay.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
When it comes to the NBA media, for the most part, there's really two different camps. You have the pro-LeBron media, pro-Lakers, pro him being the GOAT. On the other side, kind of the anti-LeBron media, not really big fans of LeBron, more the Jordan crowd, Steph Curry crowd, and really anyone else. For the most part, being simplistic, that's a pretty good breakdown of the NBA media. But I think after some recent events, there's actually a third camp that's worse than both. And this group, I'm just going to call Rich Paul. As Rich Paul is the extreme, the edge of the pro-LeBron media who will spew any narrative anti-Jordan, talking down on Steph Curry. He'll say anything to bash those players. As a little less than a month ago, he got into a debate about the 2020 bubble, if that championship was legit, and why some fans discredit it. Now, in response to those claims, some valid criticisms, Rich Paul brought up Steph Curry out of nowhere. And Rich's big point is that Steph Curry, if he won the 2020 bubble, it wouldn't get labeled a fake ring or a bubble championship, implying Steph is kind of the golden boy of the NBA, avoids all criticism, and is held to a different standard than LeBron James. Now, of course, that's a complete hypothetical, no proof to back it up, but looking at Steph's career, you can't ignore some big narratives about Steph Curry that has credited him all the way to 2022. Most infamously, the Finals MVP narrative that followed him 24/7. And look, as bad as that take is, that isn't the worst Rich Paul take he's even had in the last month. As recently, he claimed himself, Rich Paul, is on the same level as Steph Curry when it comes to shooting the basketball. The sheer audacity and delusion, it does baffle the mind. And on one hand, I'm speechless about this, but on the other, you gotta admire Rich Paul being so delusional, so confident in his own ability. And what this tells me about Rich Paul, all of Clutch Sports, I think these guys 24/7 are surrounded by yes men who do whatever they want and agree with everything they say. And look, speaking for myself, I was a pretty good shooter back in the day, and that was my main role in basketball. But am I ever going to claim me, myself, a guy who didn't play in the NBA, is on the same level as Steph Curry, or even someone like a Buddy Hield? If I claimed that, you guys would have every right to laugh me out of the room and clown me to the end of time. Because playing in the NBA, just to get a shot off, is utterly ridiculous. The speed, the intensity, the footwork, lining up your shot, all that stuff in the NBA is on 10 times speed compared to college and 20 times speed compared to high school. And for someone like Rich Paul, who didn't play a single second in the NBA, I don't think was a college player, for him to say that if he was in the NBA, he'd be on Steph Curry's level shooting the basketball is utterly insane. And what that ignores and downplays is the other, I would say, 100, 150 players who are also elite shooters in that 38 to 40% range that are definitively better shooters than Rich Paul. And people can deny the Steph Curry-LeBron James rivalry, the kind of rift between those two guys, all they want. Because in public, yes, they are cordial, they're nice, and they play good for the cameras. But statements like these from Rich Paul, a close friend of LeBron James, the leader of Clutch Sports, it's a little bit of insight into the true feelings and how that camp feels about one Steph Curry. And I think it's fairly obvious Clutch Sports in one way or another has major resentment against Steph Curry. Because in his era, his real prime peak, from 2015 to 2019, he took the NBA by storm and ruined Clutch Sports' plan, winning 2 MVPs and 3 championships in 4 years. Much like Tom Brady, nobody saw Steph coming, not even Clutch Sports. And the fact he has 4 championships, the exact same as LeBron James, potentially could get 5, that irks Rich Paul and all of Clutch Sports. And if you want to talk winning a 5th championship, look, this Warriors team has some pieces that are interesting, but I don't think this Golden State team, as constructed, is a real championship team that will make the finals. Could they make the West Finals possibly? I wouldn't doubt it. But look, Steph playing alongside Chris Paul, he's Steph Curry, he's going to adjust and do his best for the team. I have no doubt Chris Paul at one point or another is going to thrive in the Golden State offense. But on the flip side, Chris Paul also will be hurt and injured come playoff time. And that's why him joining Steph Curry, it's just kind of a weird conundrum. Because you're kind of changing your whole offense for Chris Paul. But come playoff time, you know CP3 really isn't going to be there. So this 82-game experiment they're doing is really all for naught come postseason time. And look, whenever Steph finally hangs it up, unfortunately, I think the Draymond Green-Jordan Poole situation in 15, 20 years time, that's going to be kind of the breaking point where everyone saw the Golden State Dynasty kind of fracture. Again, could they win one more championship? Definitely possible. But I think it happens this year with this roster? No, I don't. And let's say Steph down the line doesn't get that 5th championship and retires with 4. Still debatably the top 10 player of all time. But I'm just telling you guys that Jordan Poole-Draymond situation is going to be looked at as kind of the anti-Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan thing. And MJ punched Steve Kerr, that brought them close together. When Draymond punched Poole, it split them apart. And it is kind of hard to believe Steph, he's 35, about to turn 36, coming off a year where he averaged 29 points per game on nearly 50, 40, 90 splits. It's remarkable how some of these guys, like Steph, LeBron, KD, the 35-plus guys, are still this impactful this late in their careers. Are they in their prime? No, not really, but their overall stats haven't taken a dip. And looking back at Rich Paul, I want you guys to follow this thing very closely. Because Rich Paul recently, he dropped a book, went on a media tour, being on Nick Wright's show, Shannon Sharp's show, and Gilbert Arenas' show. What do those 3 guys really have in common? Pro LeBron James guys, anti-Steph Curry guys. And of course, not really Michael Jordan fans either. Keep an eye on Rich Paul. These Clutch Sports, their tentacles, they're really involved in everything. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.